Yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded, episode 22 of season 2. I am your host, Eric. Main man right over there. Ron, how are you?
How are you, Eric?
I am
anxious to get this underway.
I know. We've got so much to unfold tonight. Unreal sports time of the year right now with all the playoff action. And our leadoff star is going to be the Boston Celtics as they faced the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 last night with a resounding 120-108 win to take a 1-0 lead in the series. So first round, some of your keys to last night's game, and then let's discuss the series going forward and what our expectations would be.
Well, the first thing I noticed, that's about the best that Golden State can play, to be honest with you. That's about the best that they can play. They shot lights out in 3 quarters, basically. And the Celtics weathered the storm and took it to them in the fourth quarter. And you've got to love the fact that Al Horford was in beast mode again, and Derek White came off the bench, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic, especially in that fourth quarter. What a game he played. He was, like I said, when we did the basketball show the other day, when you guys gracefully invited me on, and I said that bench would be better for the Celtics, and it was.
Yeah, I think the encouraging part, you got to look at Jason Tatum shoots 3 for 17. Boston still wins the game. You got contributions from everybody. Jaylen Brown, 24 points. Al Horford, 26. Derek White, 21. Smart, 18. So you saw a collective group come together. And I think the encouraging part was even when Golden State was looking unbeatable in that first quarter, Steph Curry, right, 6 for 7 on threes. They were only down by 4.
I know.
So they were continuing to hold their ground even when Golden State was giving them their best. That's very encouraging if you're a Celtics fan.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, like I said, they weathered that storm, and Golden State came out throwing haymakers like they had mentioned at the beginning of the the pregame show, and the Celtics took it, and that chin held, and they just outlasted Golden State.
So
that's as simple as that.
If we were going to sit here and say the Boston Celtics would shoot 50% to Golden State's 44%, and then from 3, 51% to 42% in three-pointers, I would tell you you're crazy. There's no way they outshoot Golden State. But they did. And I think what ends up happening is the defensive pressure that Boston puts on a team eventually makes you take bad shots. And you saw it in the fourth quarter. Golden State started to press a lot more when that game got tighter because the defense had stepped up. Rob Williams came up with a couple blocks. Jason Tatum was locking down, anybody that he was defending. Marcus Smart on Steph Curry. We can't discredit the defensive player of the year and what he was able to do with controlling him after that first quarter. Steph still had 30, but if you think about the way he started, he was looking at a 60, 70-point game. Honestly.
Yeah, and if you really start analyzing that, it's the switch offs that caught the Celtics because
early on.
Because like when you see Curry making those shots, it was Brown on him. There was a switch off with I know White was covering him a lot, so there was a lot of people covering him in that first quarter when he was lighting it up. And like Smart said during one of those timeouts, is like, you can't play off of them You got to meet them up, and then then you can drop back once they start dishing it off into the lane. And like Smart is like another coach out there, and
Without a doubt.
I'll tell you, like, say what you want about Smart and how he chooses his shots. He's gotten a lot better at that.
Agreed.
But he is a coach on the floor. He really is, and he's impressed me this year.
Yeah, look, longest tenured Celtic, 8 years on the team. He's been through those rough spurts. He's grown up. Help kids grow up, if that makes sense. He's been their coach and on that court, and I have to say, it just amazes me that I don't sit there and wince anymore when he takes the shot.
No.
Last year, it'd be like, why is he throwing that up? This year, look, he's made more than he's missed. He's taking good quality shots, smart charts. And if he has to, I mean, he'll throw it up. But you know what? It's not like before where he just run up there, throw up a three, and then, for no reason.
And you can. Oh, sorry, Eric.
No, go ahead.
You can see at times when defenders actually think he's going to just chuck it up because they're used to that, right? And they go up there and they think that he's going to take the shot and they try to block it, and then he just fakes the shot and he just steps right around them, and then he can either dish it off or take a little jumper, and that's what he's been doing.
Look, it's going forward. I mean, defensively, they have to continue to play this game. But here's where I have some issues with the Golden State Warriors. I'm tired of Draymond Green and his comments because he just wants to hear himself speak. And I'm kind of glad that we're not being paid by a network right now, that we have to kind of toe the line, because I can say what I want to say, that this athlete legitimately doesn't think before he speaks.
Oh, no, he's never had.
How do you go on there and say we were dominating for 41 to 42 minutes of that game? After first quarter, you were up by 4. Halftime, you were down by 2.
Yeah.
You made your run in one quarter and then got annihilated in the fourth. Right. So I don't know. Maybe my math is way off, Ron. But if there's 12 minutes in a quarter, you're up by 4 after 1, down by 2. That's 24 minutes right there that you didn't have control and was dominating.
Look, this is him in his fantasy world.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, I know he's trying to say that, okay, we were controlling the game, through the first 3 quarters, and then the wheels came off. He's trying to spin it in a right way, like where, he's trying to dictate to his teammates that they were in total control, dominating, and it just got away from them and it was a fluke. That's basically what he's saying. But it's not reality. And with Draymond Green, it's never really been about reality for him. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's his own little fantasy world where the sky is purple and the grass is orange,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, his mouth's working harder than he is on the court right now.
Right.
And I would hope this tape gets to him at some point, and I'd love to have him on. I know he's got his own podcast. We'll join that, and I'll tell him, because I'm just tired of hearing it. Play basketball. Yeah. Just play basketball. That's what you're...
the Celtics can use this, we got dominated. So now the Celtics can use it to come out in game 2 and try to do the same thing. Hey, you just stay close. Don't let it get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost did, but they buttoned it up and they made a push themselves. They made 2 good pushes in that fourth quarter. And I'll tell you, if they just play within themselves, everything is going to be fine.
Warriors in 6, Manny. Okay.
That's what I said. I think that might be giving them too many games.
He's calling Warriors, though, in 6. Manny's
oh, God, no.
Warriors in 6.
No.
I will say this as well, and then we can move on. But you're seeing a team mature before your eyes. Because if we think about what happened with Miami, And when Miami made their runs, Boston never seemed to get or come back and be able to bounce back from those runs.
Right.
You saw it last night. They learned from that last series, the mistakes they made. They didn't let it get way out of hand where they couldn't at least control it to come back and be able to win the game. That's what you saw in that fourth quarter. That's what's impressing me the most. I mean, going forward, I still don't know if they're going to be able to shut down Clay and Curry and Poole for a consistent amount of time. But if they can, I mean, they win the series.
Absolutely. Look, like I said, if that's the best that Golden State can offer, which to me, I think that might be the best because they played pretty well, for 3 quarters. But the Celtics played just as well for 3 quarters as well, and actually played better in that fourth quarter than the Golden State Warriors did in, the third quarter, and that's what won it.
And again, Golden State, tough place to play. They hadn't lost at home in the playoffs. You beat them by 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that shouldn't happen. So we saw some things we weren't expecting. Game 2 Sunday at 8 p.m. So we'll obviously be talking about that. So let's move on to some NFL action, my friend. And we're going to bring this individual up again. And this is Deshaun Watson, who now faces another suit, bringing the count up to 23. And I don't want to talk about the whole situation. I want to ask you this, Ron. What should the Cleveland Browns do about this situation?
Well, they now have to investigate this one because I don't think anything was investigated on this one to this point. This is new information as far as I know. And I know the NFL is going to look into it more.
So here's my gripe right now, and I'm fired up today because to me the Cleveland Browns can only save face right now if they suspend him. I understand the amount of money you've paid this individual, $230 million guaranteed. He's the second highest paid quarterback in the league this year, $46 million, right behind Aaron Rodgers. So I understand from a financial standpoint, it makes no sense because you're going to lose a ton of money. But I can't understand how, as an organization, you're going to sit behind and just allow story after story to come out until something is decided. If he gets suspended, the civil suits are settled, whatever it's going to be, then he should be allowed to play again. Because now at least you can say, look, we've moved on from it and past it. You can't do that while there's still all this stuff pending and honestly have him be the face of your franchise and not know if there's going to be case number 24, number 25, number 26 that comes out during this whole process. How much worse will you look as an organization for allowing him to continue to play while all this stuff continues to come out?
Yeah, this is like now, I mean, you look at the situation, like to me, this is going to scream that they're going to have a backup quarterback starting the season.
I think this is why they haven't gotten rid of Baker Mayfield. Now it's starting to make more sense. Listen, Baker said he wants out. They're not going to trade him. They can't afford to because, listen, if they get rid of him and then Deshaun Watson gets suspended for a year, let's just say, you're bidding a lot on what you have on this roster right now. It's a win now roster.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep him. So I found out an interesting story while I was doing the research for this today, and I don't know if you've heard this, but Deshaun Watson tried to settle this in October. He was willing to pay $100,000 to each woman, so there was 22 at the time, as long as they signed a non-disclosure agreement in the contract, because the Miami Dolphins were going to trade for Deshaun Watson, but the cases had to be settled, and there had to be a non-disclosure. And 2 of the women refused to sign the disclosure, saying that they didn't obviously think it was going to be right. So to me, that starts to scream a little bit of, you did something wrong. Right? And now you were trying to backpedal it to, I was trying to sign with the team.
We've always said where there's smoke, there's fire, Eric. I mean, like, come on. there's no way this many women come out unless there was something wrong, right?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing we see time after time, especially from NFL
That
players.
was a great song, by the way. Cyndi Lauper. I love that song.
Yes.
But go ahead. Keep going.
It just stinks. The whole thing stinks.
And I just, if this was my organization, if this was the New England Patriots, and he was on our team right now, I would beg and plead for them to suspend him until this was settled. I just don't see how. I've lost more respect for the Cleveland Browns organization for the fact that they're going to allow this guy on the practice field right now and pretend like nothing's going on.
Look, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I would have never traded for him.
We said that when it first happened. Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Look, nobody's doubting his talent. Nobody's doubting the talent, but people are doubting whether or not he's ever even going to play. I mean, when you really think about it, we don't even know. And
the NFL was willing to go to the Supreme Court for a deflated football. It almost got to that point.
Yeah.
But you're not going to fight this right now. We're still doing our investigation. How does that make sense?
I don't know. This just goes to show you where the NFL stands on actual,
discipline.
Look, they went after Brady, and it was a phantom.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. They just wanted to go after the Patriots because the Patriots win.
Yeah, and the Cleveland Browns have stunk for years, so it's like let's not rattle those feathers yet. It's outrageous. Let's move on to some players that honestly didn't get in much trouble, and that was but they've officially retired from the NFL, and that would be Ryan Fitzpatrick, Malcolm Jenkins, and Frank Gore. I wanted you to rate each one of their careers. So, I know we do a triple play, something similar to that, Ron. How would you rank these three individuals? I'm going to tell you right now, we're cutting Ryan Fitzpatrick because originally this was going to be our face-off, and then I looked at his numbers, and they're not very good. They are not very good.
No,
59, 87, and 1 in his career.
Look, if I'm going to start anybody, it's going to be Jenkins.
Jenkins had a very good year.
Because
a very good career. Sorry.
Look, he first of all a cornerback, so that is a vital position in this day and age, along with quarterbacks, of course. But look, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, you can always count on him to throw a pick in the fourth quarter to lose the game.
I think he was better known for those outfits when he had the shirts open with the chest hair and the chain, right? And because honestly, he's 223 touchdowns, 169 interceptions, so they weren't horrible.
That's pretty bad.
And then I started looking at where these rank, like 34,900 yards passing. He's like 36th. He was almost 30 games under 500. I know he played for some bad teams, but usually the quarterback play usually makes you a little better. So it goes to show. Frank Gore, very quietly, third overall in the NFL in rushing, 16,000 yards on the dot. And he was a 5-time Pro Bowler. And you think about it, he's behind Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton, who are considered two of the greatest running backs of all time. So
it's a quiet, great career. I mean, look, Frank Gore is a great running back, but I always value a cornerback ahead of a running back anyway. So,
and I didn't realize
he's a great
7 touchdowns in his career, Ron. 7.
That's it.
7 touchdowns for Jenkins as a defensive back.
Oh, I thought you would.
No, Frank Gore had 81 touchdowns. Frank Gore had 81 touchdowns.
Yeah,
but 7 touchdowns for Jenkins. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So again, great careers overall. Listen, if you make it to the league, regardless, we can sit here. You know what? We're sitting behind a computer and having conversations. These guys were legitimate, but playing in a.
Look, with Fitzpatrick, I don't want to keep hopping on, his poor,
I feel like you're gonna
record, but he's got a lot of talent. He just has poor decision making, late in games. And I know a lot of those touchdowns, interceptions that are thrown late in games is because his team is behind, but you don't make it worse. But, as far as if he was a backup for the Patriots, I'd accept that as a backup.
in our fantasy football league, you know you were going to draft Ryan Fitzpatrick as a backup quarterback. And now that's gone. That opportunity is gone, Ron. I know you're devastated.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's talk some triple play, my friend. And we're going to discuss these three major league players that are leading in home runs. Who would we start, bench, and cut? And that would be Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, and Yordan Alvarez, who just signed an extension. Yeah, I think you got the paranormal activities going on over there again. You are first this week.
I am.
I believe you were. I was
That's
first.
all right. I can go first. That's fine.
Was I first? Was it?
Yeah. No, it's all right. I'll go first.
Okay. All right. So, who you starting, benching, and cutting out of those three individuals?
This was actually really easy.
Okay.
I'm starting Mookie Betts. There's no doubt.
I'm not surprised.
There's no doubt I'm starting Mookie Betts.
No Yankee love for you.
First of all, over 1,200 hits already, 194 home runs, 297 lifetime batting average, 804 runs, 603 RBI. He's got 2 World Series championships, and we all know that's where you are measured. 1 batting title, 5 Gold Gloves, 5 All-Stars, and 1 MVP. Look, this guy, he's a contender for an MVP every year. He's a contender. I mean, he's a great player. He's only played 1 more year than Judge.
Yeah.
And Judge, I have as a close second. So he is my bench. 677 hits, 177 home runs, 278 batting average, which is very good this day and age for a power hitter. 442 runs, 405 RBI, 3 All-Stars. He won a Rookie of the Year. He doesn't have the MVP as Mookie does, and he does not have the World Series trophies yet.
Okay. Yes, okay.
Yet, and I say that yet because I think he will get at least 1. Look, you know, I would love Judge to come to Boston. I really would. Believe me, I think he's a hell of a ball player. He's got a cannon for an arm out in that right field, and he would fit nicely out in right field. He'd look like Dwight Evans out there, only with even more power. You know, Dwight Evans, just to let you know, Dwight Evans in the 80s had more total bases than any other player.
Thank you.
That's my boy. So, and that means I'm cutting Yordan Alvarez. He just doesn't have the longevity as the other 2 players. Yeah, like, look, those 2 are all-stars. I mean, they're great players. And, you know, when it's all said and done, they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if I can say that about Alvarez right now, but he's on his way. He's a good ball player. You know, he won Rookie of the Year. You know, he's already got 75 home runs, 287 batting average. You know, 217 RBI already. He's got good numbers.
Yeah, and I think it's fourth year in the league. So
yeah, so he's no slouch. Like, he's a good ball player, and I think he's going to put up a lot of good numbers. He's just not at the level as the other 2 right now. So
I am honestly impressed. You got it right. Yeah, I would. Same exact thing. Mookie Betts would be my starter. And I looked at another stat was this season right now, batting .310 with 16 home runs, 36 RBIs. So you're talking about so Aaron Judge right behind him at 303.
Absolutely.
19 home runs, 39
Absolutely.
RBIs. So again,
Aaron Judge is also just getting better every year too.
Yeah, and I think Mookie Betts just gives you so much more.
Yeah.
Besides just the hitting. And then Alvarez it's on his way, to your point, but the resume was so short right now that I felt like I had to cut him.
But he deserves to be in this conversation, though.
Yeah. Listen, there are 3 great players having a great season to start off, so it's going to be fun to see how this ends up. If Aaron can hold on to that home run lead, because Mookie was getting hot for a while there.
Yeah, and considering Judge is in the American League and Mookie's out in L.A., They both have a lineup that protects them.
Yeah.
And I think both of these guys have a chance to win the Triple Crown, to be honest with you. They have a chance. Like Judge can put up those numbers.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Could you imagine?
Oh, that'd be fun. Let's talk some NBA action. And we're gonna bring up the first billionaire active player in NBA history, and that's LeBron James. And I know how you feel about LeBron as a player. But what do you think this means for future stars in the NBA? What he's been able to accomplish on and off the court?
Do you know how I feel of him as a player?
No,
or is it as a person?
You've never expressed your opinions of LeBron James. So we're a little confused as to how you feel.
Like the perception is he's a great guy and all that stuff, and but I don't know. Like he doesn't have any loyalties except for himself. You know what I'm saying? And I think like that as a player. You gotta have some loyalties.
No, and that's why I say from a player standpoint, I think honestly, but you got to look at what he's able to show young kids now. Remember, he came out of high school, started to invest his money. Yeah. Create foundations, invest in certain organizations to be able to say, look, I am making money so I have a future outside of basketball. When I am done, you can do this. Because how many times have we seen these players that somehow stumble once their career is over and don't have anything to fall back on because they didn't invest correctly or they didn't. And I think you have to give him credit for that because he could have very easily he spends a lot of money.
What I do give him credit for, Eric, is leaving Cleveland high and dry a second time. And saying, hey, I'm going to go to Hollywood so I can become a movie star. And he's been in how many movies now?
But he's invested in a studio, making money off of that. First of all, all people, I want right now, we're going to change. We need change, Ron, because he's a part owner of the Boston Red Sox.
What?
And that is your team.
Wait, is he?
Yes, he is.
He's a part owner in the Red Sox?
Yes.
Oh, well.
He's part of the Fenway Group.
That changes everything now.
Now you have to respect him.
No, I don't need to respect him.
Because he is part of your team, your organization.
No, I don't. Because that just makes me want to because I haven't even been able to bring myself to watch a Red Sox game in a long time because they can't look when you say you're a contender. Oh my God. When you say you're a contender and you lose to Baltimore and then you lose to Cincinnati, I mean, come on. Cincinnati, we discussed as one of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, could possibly be in history. In MLB history.
And you can't beat them? Like, really? Are you kidding me? So the team is already disgusted me.
Part owner. Also, Liverpool, he owns the soccer team. He's got a part ownership in that.
I don't root for Liverpool.
Okay. We've just probably offended everybody in the UK now. I don't know.
No, because they don't all root for Liverpool. Only Liverpoolians do.
Liverpoolians, is that yes?
Is that what they are, Liverpoolians?
I don't know. We'll go with it. I'm sure we'll be corrected at some point.
No, I just don't. Oh my God, LeBron James makes me sick to my stomach.
See, I think you have to understand that sports, the dynamic has changed. There is no loyalty. Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
There's loyalty. Yeah, there is. There's loyalty.
It's not as common as it once was.
It exists in one sport.
Here we go with hockey again.
It is. It's only in the NHL. Come on, you got Mark Messier doing the in between periods and stuff, and he just praises the Rangers and
I understand, but wasn't he with Edmonton or
yes?
So I'm just saying things they move.
Yeah, but he's been doing the games for the Rangers.
Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player to ever put on skates. Correct?
Yes.
He was with Edmonton, then the Kings, then the Rangers.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it happens.
Yes, but they do stay loyal to their teams. Like,
all right, but I mean, it's just
There is loyalty.
And then if that's your argument, you cannot say he's not loyal to the city of Cleveland because he still does a lot for Cleveland. He came back and won a championship for Cleveland. You can't discredit that for LeBron James.
That's because he took so much heat.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
He took so much heat when he left for Miami that he had no choice but to go back until he could win a championship. And as soon as he did, he bolted again because he wanted to go to Hollywood. I don't like him. I don't like him. And I'm already tired. I'm already tired of people talking about him. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him because
NBA history as an active player.
Wait. But he's not an NBA billionaire. Let's get that straight. He made all his money off of his like billion ads that he's on TV for.
I do recall that on one of your shows, you gave Space Jams 2.
No, don't get out of here. I couldn't even watch it. Like I watched.
Even Shine Reviews, I believe
it's unwatchable.
You recommended everybody watch that movie at least twice.
I didn't even like the first one. Never mind the second one.
Let's talk some.
And he's in that. I guess he's making an appearance in that new Adam Sandler Hustle. Movie.
Which I don't. Is Adam Sandler from Philadelphia? I didn't think he was.
No, I don't think so.
I don't understand what the whole Philadelphia 76ers thing.
I don't know. He was a fan of Dr. J. Like he was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
And he bragged about meeting Dr. J, but not LeBron. So what does that tell you? He doesn't care about him.
You sure LeBron's in the movie?
That's what I heard.
I don't know. And it probably Haven Shine Reviews is going to be award-winning.
Oh, I'm going to watch that.
LeBron James. Let's talk some Major League Baseball. And we're going to talk about the Washington Nationals, who are obviously continuing to struggle this season. But there's been a lot of whispers about Juan Soto and possibly trading Juan Soto, who's obviously one of their best players. Would you, if you were...
He is their best.
The best. Yes, at this point. Would you, if you were the ownership or the GM, trade Juan Soto?
Well, if I'm Washington, I mean, what are you keeping him for? I mean, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I would try to get something. Listen, you got to
look.
The year they won this, the year they won the World Series, it was based more on the pitching. They had Scherzer. Who's the kid that always gets hurt? I can't even remember his name now. It's not
that just goes to show you where
he gets hurt every year.
Yeah.
But so they need to reestablish themselves, get themselves some pitches. Listen, he's an outstanding player, but he's having a very bad year himself. He's batting .222, 9 home runs, 16 RBIs.
Because there's nobody else on the team.
So to your point, if nobody's there to protect you and at least help you in the lineup,
the team is going nowhere. So you trade him. You trade him. Unfortunately, you trade him. And that's going to make a lot of fans upset. And it's just bad. It's bad. The team has just completely fallen apart. I swear they really don't know what direction they're going in. They don't know.
It's just sometimes when you get these ownerships and teams, and I don't understand how fans continue to allow. So listen, the last 3 years, 26 and 34 was in 20 because obviously the shortened season. 65 and 97. They're currently 18 and 35. Like it's
just a tad less than the Red Sox.
As a fan, though, like how would at least Boston, for the most part, is competitive every year. This is 3 straight years now where you're talking about just being inept. And there's no movement. They're not trying to get better. You don't see them getting players. You don't see them doing anything but just saying, okay, well, we got Juan Soto, who's one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and we're just going to continue to ride the curtails and see how long before.
Yeah, because they want that. They want that box office ticket,
Which is it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's talk about the next gentleman we're going to bring up, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies former manager now, Joe Girardi, who's been fired after the team has started 22 and 29. Was this the right move by the team?
Well, he's the scapegoat.
I don't understand how in June you fire a manager.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, they invested a lot of money in this roster.
Yeah, they have the 4th highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah. And
is that his fault? Your best player's out for the most part. Bryce Harper's been in and out of the lineup. Should have got Tommy John surgery. I mean, I don't know if their bullpen's one of the worst. Fire the pitching coach.
Look, yeah, he's the scapegoat. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's his fault. I think the players need to look in the mirror because, there's no excuse. But you're also got to go up against the Mets and the Braves.
Yeah, and look what the Mets did. They invested all this money as well. It's just worked out better for them.
Yeah,
and they've had the injuries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. Listen,
that must mean their manager must be better.
He's a 54, almost 55% win percentage for his career in 14 years of management.
Yeah, but
1,120 wins to 935 losses. You can't say the guy doesn't.
Where did he manage all his career?
A lot of it was in New York.
Yeah. That helps. That helps.
He won one championship though, and I think he was 10 years in New York. So you can't. But you need time to be able to build.
I mean, when you think about it, why don't you try go managing in,
Oakland?
Yeah. Yeah. See what you can do in Oakland, and if you stink out in Oakland, then, look,
Miami.
Look, he's not doing well he didn't do well in Philadelphia.
He was almost 500. He was
almost
132 and 141.
Almost,
I mean, it wasn't horrible.
But they need it to be better. Their roster dictates that it should be better. It should be a winning team. And I think time ran out. They need to pull the plug now and get somebody in there that can do it. This puts the players on notice. That's what this does.
I did hear he lost the clubhouse a little bit, and that might have been one of the factors as well. Yeah. Once that happens, regardless of how good you are,
right?
It's going to be
happened
hard
to Tito, and I regard Tito as one of the best managers in baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
No, and he's still putting up good numbers with a team that really doesn't belong.
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
See, I was going to say the other, and I got it right. The Cleveland Guardians.
At least they picked a good name.
Are we still on the name thing?
Yeah. Because Guardians is, when you think about it.
They just refurbished it. They used to be the Guardians.
Yeah, I know, but the Guardians is like,
just don't like the Commanders.
The spirits of Native Americans, kind of like that kind of thing,
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that, they can be called the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh, boy, here we go.
But when you take the Washington football team...
Commanders. They're in command.
It's just dreadful. It's dreadful.
I also say...
It just reminds me of Commandant.
You have an Arnold Schwarzenegger night, and they become the Commandos for that one night. How great would that be? Bring back, right?
That just oozes Nazism.
Commandos. What did you Commandant? What is wrong with you?
Commanders is basically English for Commandant. That's what it is.
Oh boy. Let's move on. Let's move on to our face-off.
Face-off.
And our face-off tonight is about the NBA and changing their all-NBA format. So there's been a lot of controversy around this with Joel Embiid not making the all-NBA first team, right? And we talked about it because Jokic was the MVP of the league. It kind of makes sense that he would be on the first team all-NBA team. So what they're saying now is they would go positionless, where it would just be 15 guys regardless of their position. So you'd have, you know what I mean?
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
So you get to go first. So you're arguing that you don't like
No, that's just BS. So that way we can put Embiid
this is going to be a short argument.
No, this is just crap.
This is going to be a very short argument. Because I agree with you. But go ahead.
Embiid, stop your
whining.
look, suck it up. If you're not the best, you're not the best. Tough cookies. Look, I want the best point guard out there. I want the best shooting guard. I want the best small forward. I want the best power forward, and I want the best center. Who the heck thinks that, because, there's only a couple of good centers in the league, you shouldn't get it. Well, tough.
Well, it's not that you shouldn't get it. What they're saying is he should have been on it. So maybe you have Jokic and him versus.
That's why they have the second team and the third team, and they probably have a fourth team too now.
3 teams, 15 players.
Yeah.
So here's where I think it could. This is my argument for it, because I have to argue for it, even though I agree with you. I am going to argue this, and I think this is a legitimate point, though. The league has changed where a lot of these guys are kind of multi-position players. So a Jason Tatum can play a shooting guard, small forward, power forward. So why are we limiting him to one position when we're talking all the NBA team when he may play multiple positions? A Marcus Smart, who is a defensive player of the year, will play all 5 positions at any point. So again, just have 15 guys who are your best. Here's your all NBA team. It may be 6 shooting guards and, you know what I mean, 1 center.
No, because
that's
look,
the way it goes.
I want the 3 best centers in the league to get those spots. I don't want 1 center to get the spot, and then, 14 small forwards. I don't want that.
Those are the 14 best players.
I don't want that. I don't want that. If you want to be in the top 3, then you better get in the top 3.
But
Period.
There's so many guys at those positions that are.
I don't
different.
care. Battle it out.
Again,
like you want to be the best, then you got to beat the best. Period.
You clearly won that one. I'm giving you that one because I agree with you that it doesn't make sense.
It's just again, not to pick on soccer.
Oh boy, here we go. You say that every week now.
But NBA players are just as whining and flopping as soccer players are, and it's becoming very, very sickening. Look, before, all these softies got into this league, we used to have these things called playoffs where it was just an all-out war. And nobody liked each other. Nobody was hugging after games. Oh, please go win. Go win, please. I love you, Jason. Like that's what you get after the game in Miami. It was awful. It was awful. I don't want to see that.
Did you watch did you watch The Last Dance with the Chicago Bulls?
Oh, yes.
So do you remember why Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the Dream Team?
Yes.
It's because he refused to shake their hands after the Chicago Bulls beat. Like, that's how it used to be. Right. Like, you didn't like the other team beating you, so you didn't wish them well. You were pissed off they beat you, and next year you were trying to come back to beat them again because you were pissed off that they beat you the last year. That doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. It doesn't exist anymore. So I agree with you. I think, look, you get the 3 best from each position. Sense.
After the Bruins and Montreal played a playoff series, they didn't want to go and shake each other's hands like you have to in the NHL. You have to go through the line, and that was the fastest line. Boom, 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 right down the list. Nobody would do. Yeah. You just touch gloves. You move on. It was the fastest handshakes ever. They didn't want to sit there and shake their hands. No. They hated each other. Could you imagine, back in the day where Alex Rodriguez and say, Pedro Martinez and Veritek, you think they'd shake hands in line? No.
Ron, we heard it last night. Magic Johnson was doing the pregame stuff, and he the Celtics. It's like he just can't.
No.
And that's what you were, and it's and that bothers me when people like, oh, I'm rooting for this team this week. What do you mean?
Right.
Then you're not a fan.
This is why I have a problem
enjoy
winning these prediction games
sport.
because I can't pick a team I hate. I can't.
So and so. That's not how this works.
And it's like, I can't. It breaks my heart to have to pick a winner when I hate both teams. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. And I don't like all the loving that is being shared, especially in the NBA. It's just ridiculous because all these players are. It's basically reverse collusion. Basically, that's what we're dealing with right now. Players making their own teams. I don't like it. And it's disturbing me.
I get it.
I can go
Let's
on
talk
and
some
on about
NHL.
everything.
I know we're having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah, you have like no bars right now.
Let's talk some NHL though. We got a lot of action going on. Yeah, it's bouncing all over the place. So let's start off in the Western Conference. Obviously, the Colorado Avalanche have taken a commanding 2-0 lead versus the Edmonton Oilers. Overall, your impressions of this series and what's going on with the Oilers, who looked unstoppable from a goal scoring standpoint, and if somehow I don't know. I know in basketball we put the lid on. In hockey, what do they do? The brick wall?
Look, this is just a team that is just outmatched by Colorado. Look, we've been saying it all year long. Colorado, one of the best teams in the league. They were in the top 5 all the time. Okay. Calgary jumping up and down in that list, but we now know that they weren't as good as Colorado. We now know because Colorado is just handing, Edmonton their walking papers, and it's not even a series right now.
Yeah, 4-0 the last game. You got Kane, McDavid, who've only had 1 goal in this series. Draisaitl, no goals. You're talking your 3 biggest guys, whereas now McKinnon's 2 goals. Is it Makar? Makar, 4 points. He's a +4. So from a defensive standpoint, one of their best players as well, making the difference. 43.5 shots to 30.5 shots in favor of Colorado. And if you would have told me that Edmonton Oilers would be getting outshot in this series with all those stars and the firepower they have, I'd be pretty surprised. Colorado seems to be controlling it defensively.
Yeah, and that's where I said in the hockey show, when you look at Colorado's team, it's kind of spread throughout the whole team, and that defense, is very, very good. You're talking quality defensemen that they can all basically bring that puck up out of the zone into neutral ice and then make that pass to the winger or the center, and they bring it in over the line, and it's just seamless. And when you can do that consistently, that puts so much pressure on a team defensively that you can't recover from that because it's just constant pressure. They're constantly making the right play to come out of their end into your end, and then you get stuck there because you can't clear it. And I've seen it over and over in this series already. It's just, prolonged pressure by Colorado, and that's why the shot total is up because they're just better. They're better all around. Yes, they may have McDavid. He might be the best player in the league, but when you only have 2-3 guys that can do that, it makes it very difficult. You're one-dimensional, and you cannot do anything about it against a team this good.
So let me ask you this question: can Edmonton get back into the series?
I doubt it.
Do you feel like
I think it's over. They may win a game, but Colorado right now is playing like they are unstoppable. and there's only going to be one team that has a chance, and that's whoever comes out of the East. And that's that.
So,
that's what it is.
Yeah, let's look at the Eastern Conference Finals then, and that's the New York Rangers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. New York leads the series 1-0. They're playing tonight, Game 2 in New York. We've talked about the Tampa Bay Lightning and what they've been able to do in the playoffs. So they haven't lost back-to-back playoff losses in 18 straight games.
Yeah.
They lost
Vasilevsky.
Game 1.
Yep.
Do they win Game 2?
No. I'm taking the Rangers in this
So
one.
the streak ends today? The streak ends tonight?
The streak ends tonight. But again, it is Tampa Bay, so you can never put anything past them. Vasilevsky is a great goaltender, but I don't think they can match the Rangers' speed. And
So
I think they would have had a
Vasilevsky,
problem with Carolina as well. So I think both these teams are the faster teams.
So Game 1, Vasilevsky didn't look too good. Only 82% save percentage.
Yeah.
Let up, 6 goals.
Yep.
Shesterkin, 2 goals, 94, almost 95% save percentage.
Yeah.
We said it was going to be a defensive, juggernaut is what the expectation would be. If New York's going to give up, Tampa Bay is going to give up 6 goals. This could be a quick series. Do you think the youth is helping New York? Because again, now we're talking about younger legs, haven't had
speed. They get
play
too
as
much
many
speed.
hockey games. Yeah. We talked about it. Tampa Bay's been playing a lot of hockey for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Now you're running up against young kids who really haven't had to play as much, and maybe it's starting to affect you a little bit.
Yeah, you're looking at the miles on the legs of like Hedman, Stamkos, Kucherov. Like they've built up a lot of miles. And then you're looking across the ice and you have Adam Fox back there that is every bit as good as Hedman, maybe even better at this stage of their careers. And then you're looking at Zibanejad, who's just flying everywhere. He is all over the ice. And Tampa Bay just cannot match that speed right now. They have some guys that have some speed, but they're not their top players, and they can't keep up with this team.
Gotcha.
And that's a problem
So,
for Tampa Bay.
Is this the end of the run for Tampa Bay?
I think it could be. I think the Rangers are going to take this series. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to go out, with a sweep. I don't think that's going to happen. Tampa Bay is too good of a team. Vasilevsky is too good of a goalie. It could go 6, but I think the Rangers will take this series.
So let me ask you this. If Colorado, which we assume would get through in the West, of these two teams, who would present the biggest problem for Colorado?
Tampa Bay.
Right. So, it'd be interesting to see if the Rangers get there. Well, it looks like a really easy run for Colorado at that point.
Yeah. I think.
And I'm not discrediting what the Rangers are doing, but Tampa Bay, with their experience going against Colorado, to me would be an equalizer.
You need the experience to go up against a team like Colorado, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but the thing is, you still have Shesterkin, and you still have Fox back there, and I think that in itself can tip a series in your favor.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the East has over the West at this point. They have the better goalies. And we must remember that because, when you look at some of those teams that made those runs to win Stanley Cups, those goaltenders were the most important thing. And, like Tim Thomas, who was just absolutely incredible in the playoffs to bring the Bruins. You look at all those big dynasties like Edmonton with Grant Fuhr, Billy Smith for the Islanders. they had great goaltenders, and that's what usually wins. So, that is what worries me about Colorado, saying that Colorado will win, because they don't have that guy.
Well, their
Whether or not,
backup goaltender won shutout Edmonton last game.
And
So,
this is my point. So
and you
it's
think
like
about the
Edmonton is
firepower
no
Edmonton has.
match. So,
Yeah.
But I like the odds going into a Stanley Cup with either of those two goaltenders, Vasilevsky or Shesterkin. I like the odds of that. I just think experience will be able to withstand that Colorado attack better.
Yeah. You know what time it is, my friend? It's pick and roll, baby. Pick and roll.
You got to pick them and roll with it.
And roll with them. And speaking of roll, we got that new roll on our podcast now. So every so often you'll see that come up, our little ticker. So that's really exciting to have. Look at that bad boy.
Mean that
I love
one?
it. So that one. 222. We're going to rank based off the NBA going on. Let's talk some basketball. In these NBA number 22s from this past season, Deandre Ayton, Desmond Bane, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, and Andrew Wiggins. And we're going to rank from 5 to 1, who was the best number 22 to the worst, or vice versa. Worst to best. Yeah, we've only done this, almost 100 times now. But let's see. You're first, my friend. Your pick and roll. Who's that 5?
All right. So I did career-wise because I don't like basing it off of 1 year.
I think I might have as well. Okay.
So my number 5, which really was no question, Desmond Bane, 14 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 2.3 assists. He was on the all-rookie team his rookie year, but that's as far as it goes. So he would be number 5. Like, he doesn't have anything else to boast about. Number 4, who is actually a pretty good player in my eyes. I'd like to have him in Boston someday when he can actually still play. Deandre Ayton, 16.3 points, 10.5 boards, 1.6 assists. He, of course, was on the all-rookie team as well his rookie season. And I think his numbers are just fantastic. I think he's a great player. Well, not a great player. He's a good player. He just wasn't as big as the next 3. And number 3, and this was really difficult for me because you know how I am with championships. But I have Chris Middleton at number 3, and he's the only one on the list with a championship. But I still couldn't rise him higher because I don't think he's as good as the other 2. I just don't think so. 17.1, 4.9 boards, 3.8 assists. Like, those are really good numbers with a championship. It's just that I don't think he could carry a team. And that's why I don't have him higher. Number 2, I have Andrew Wiggins. Even though he has the most points per game, 19.3, 4.4 boards, 2.3 assists, 1 All-Star, 1 Rookie of the Year, and he was also on the All-Rookie team. Look, I think he's a good player. Look, he's gotten a finals appearance. It's a question whether or not he will get that championship, but he doesn't have one right now, so therefore he is at number 2 because I wasn't going to put him against Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler I have at number 1, 17.7 points, 5.3 boards, 4.1 assists, but he's been in 4 All-NBAs, 4 All-Defensive. Look, Butler is a gamer. Look, I worried about him against the Celtics. Look, if he had any help whatsoever, they could have taken that series.
As I saw him
And that's
perform
why I had Jimmy
in the
Butler
last
there.
series against Boston. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that
you
put
were-
him over for me.
and sometimes I think we're going to have to figure out, because I ranked it a little because I did it by based of what they did this season.
Yeah.
So,
But, you would be
so
wrong
our list
anyway, so.
is going to be number 5, 4.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists.
You are freezing.
I
You have like one bar,
what-
dude.
per game, 3.
I can't
See,
even hear you.
mine's showing full and yours is freezing. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on
well,
today.
the one that matters is this one because
It just keeps jumping back and forth. Number 4 was Desmond Bain. I don't know if you heard that. At 3, I had
nope, I didn't even
Deandre
hear number
Ayton,
5. Who was number 5? Wait,
Andrew
go
Wiggins.
back. Who's
Andrew-
number 5?
Wiggins.
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
4, Desmond Bain. 3, Deandre Ayton. Had Chris Middleton at 2. With you, and Jimmy Butler is just a baller. He was by far out of these guys the best. So I went Jimmy Butler at number 1.
Yeah, I can see how you did yours by going by this year's numbers. Yeah. I went career-wise
Middleton a bump up because of
of the championship. And yeah, that was the one that was tough for me. I normally I would put those championships higher on the list, if not on the top of the list, but I just can't see him carrying a team, and that was the difference maker. And I can see Wiggins being able to do that, at least to some degree.
Yeah.
But Chris Middleton, I don't think he can.
and he may get there. He may get there. It's prediction time, and a little technical difficulty on our end. Hopefully, it's not on everyone else's end. But we're going to picked up another game on you, my friend.
Yep. It's those damn Yankees. And you are frozen right now.
Yeah, you did. You should have picked the Yankees.
No, I can't. You should know that by now.
So, if you'd like to be on the list, you show and give us your picks as well. We'd love to get more names on there, and be able to increase that lead. See what happens here. All right, we're picking first. So we are starting with the game on the 5th, and that is Sunday. The Boston Celtics at the Golden State Warriors, game 2. Who do you got?
You know, I really want to pick the Celtics here, but I'm going to pick Golden State. I still think that the Celtics could win this game.
They can, but I just Golden State's going to come out with such energy.
Well, I just think that, after a win, the Celtics come out and play poorly. so, we'll see.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah, it's a great point. 6-3. You got the teaming at the New York Rangers. So game tonight, Rangers up 1-0. Tampa Bay streak does not end. They will win game 2 because they don't lose consecutive games, 18 straight. They have the playoff pedigree. I'm going Tampa Bay.
I'm going the Rangers. I think they're too fast. They got home ice. I don't see the Rangers losing. I don't see them losing. Is where I pick up a game on you.
Tomorrow night, you got the Colorado Avalanche Colorado Avalanche at the Edmonton Oilers. The Avs up 2-0.
I'm going Colorado. They're just too good. They're too good. It's just simple as that. They are too good. Yeah, I can't even. I don't even know what you're saying. Wow, this is pretty bad.
This is awesome.
I can't. I don't even know what you said. Don't even know.
All right.
Who did you pick?
That's all right. 6.
Who'd you
The
pick?
New York Mets at the San Diego Padres.
I don't know who you
Colorado.
picked. Okay. I took the New York
Colorado.
Mets. Yeah, but I'm taking the New York Mets against San Diego. I just think they're too good of a team.
Agree. I take in the Mets as well. This is bad right now for us. New York Mets are even again. So St. Louis Cardinals at the Tampa Bay's 3-game series. I'm going St. Louis.
I also went St. Louis. I keep picking Tampa Bay to lose these series, and all they do is win. So they'll probably win because I picked St. Louis.
Yeah. WNBA action. We got the Dallas Wings at the Las Vegas Aces.
I went Dallas. I hate the fact that they called the Wings. That's a crappy name. But yeah, I'll take Dallas.
I'm gonna have you come up with the worst names and we can rank them. I went the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh, so we have 2 different.
Yeah. Tomorrow we've got the Vancouver Whitecaps Football Club at MLS. What do you got?
No, what do you have? You're first. And Frozen.
I have Vancouver.
I also have Vancouver. Vancouver, didn't they go to the championship last year? So I'm going to ride with them.
I don't know.
Although it could end up in a tie.
And then
oh, wait. Let me.
Yes.
Ooh. Nah, I'll stay
action.
with Vancouver. Oh, you know who I'm going with. I'm going with my Italian Stallions, Birmingham.
Okay. USFL
that's a given.
New Orleans Breakers versus the Birmingham.
Hey, yo, I got to go with the Italian Stallions.
Stallions as well. We got 2 different.
All right.
So, as much as we have some technical difficulties, let's see if we can get this in. So, our final thoughts, not necessarily anything about sports. It could be anything that's going on in the world today. Ron, you are first, my friend. Thought.
All right. So my final thought is, again, I'm going to do the complaining. I'm going to do the whining because what I'm seeing in the NBA in these playoffs is just alarming right now. With all the flopping and complaining to the refs. And it's like, you know what? At this point, play the stupid game. Okay? Stop your complaining. Stop your whining. Enough with the, oh, what? How? Enough with that. You sound just brutal out there. And it's your excuse for, making a horrible play or a dumb play, and the flopping. Come on. After seeing Kyle Lowry getting knocked over by wind, really? He's plump enough where he's not going to be on his butt by, Mr. PP, He's not going to knock him over. Pritchett, He's not going to be able to knock Lowry over. He's so big and plump. He's not going anywhere. And it's like all of these players, you're looking at Draymond Green with that phantom elbow in the face. It's like, oh, like he got shot or something. No, stop with the flopping. It's so ridiculous. I'm tired of it. If I want to see the flopping, I'll go watch some MLS, and watch that. At least they can act better.
All right, I'm gonna try my final thought, and my final thought's actually on Darvin, the new LA Lakers coach. I hope he does well, but I also hope that the team allows him to coach and it's not controlled by the players. I feel like sometimes what the issues are with the NBA is that they allow coaches but allow the players to run the team. Hopefully he gets his opportunity to, coach and run the organization, and they get him players that want to play and be part of the organization. So we'll have to see. Good luck to Darvin Ham, the new LA Lakers head coach. Obviously, we've had a little bit of issues here at the end here, but it's been fun. Again, check us out on our social media at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter, at Broadcasting RI on Twitter. Listen to us on Google, Spotify, TuneIn, and Red Circle. So a lot of different ways to watch and listen. Sponsor us. All that information has been as we got our new ticker here at Sports Unfolded. Sports Unfolded ticker. Really excited about that as well. Ron, as always, great show, my friend. Sorry for difficulties, and we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely. Of course we will. Oh, I got to shut it down, right?